Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are talking about Bitcoin, specifically the major price correction that we are currently seeing here. If we take a closer look here at the chart, let's just go ahead and take a look at zoom in on the 1 day. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Everything here is coming down for the most part, and this is to be expected, guys. We are definitely in a correction. A lot of people like to say that Bitcoin's been in a bubble, and that's definitely the case, absolutely the case. But I tend to disagree with where the bubble started. A lot of people that are new to Bitcoin will say that the Bitcoin bubble started at the $10,000 mark, and everything beyond that is just hype. I definitely agree with that sentiment, but I also agree that this whole year, 2017, has been an entire bull market. So I think that we're going to see a very large price correction, and I'm going to give you my analysis on this in this video. We're going to take a look at some charting that I've done here, and I'm going to explain to you why I think that we're going to see at least a 70% correction from our all-time high here of about 19,000 and some change. So we're going to talk about that in this video coming up right now. Come on, guys, let's go. So right now we are looking at coinmarketcap.com, and this is a good place to come to where you can see the day-to-day of what's going on with specific coins. The price of Bitcoin right now is right around 12,004. It's about a 16% down for the day, and that's definitely not good for anybody that bought in over the $10,000 mark. Something that I said before, if you're buying over 10,000, you're gonna end up head over heels there, because it's not gonna bode well for you, at least in the short term here. So what I want to do is I want to bring up one of the charts here that I've been working on, and we're just gonna zoom out here because I'm looking at something different here. But I want to bring us to where we're at right now. This is 2017 that we're looking at. Okay, 2017 was a great year for Bitcoin. We can definitely see that this was 100% a bull market, and where we started the year off was right around $751 per Bitcoin. I'm going to say that again, guys. Bitcoin at the start of the year was right around $800 a coin. We are now looking, even still with the market quote unquote being down, we are still looking at double-digit Bitcoin value. So it's currently around $12,000, and before that, before we hit our all-time high here of 19,666 according to Coinbase. Oddly enough, 666 is in there, which is, take of that what you will, but that's kind of an indicator of sorts, right? So from January until December 17th, where we hit our all-time high here, that's over a 2,000% gain, guys. You see this here? Over 2,500% gain in less than a year. That's literally less than 1 year. So yeah, that's a bubble. That's a huge bubble. But I want to back it up a little bit, because history always tends to repeat itself, especially in cryptocurrency. So this was 2017. We can see that trajectory that it took here and the huge increase in price. And now we're starting to see the pullback, the come down, the correction, whatever you want to call it. But let's back up a little bit. Bitcoin has always had these little spikes in price, and these are healthy spikes here. You can see these healthy little spikes, and then a little correction here, about 7-day correction, but it's a 40% correction. Almost every time we have a big spike like that, it's a 40% correction. How long that 40% correction takes, that seems to be situational. Sometimes it's 7 days, sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes it's 45 days. That seems to be the longest I've seen it take to correct 40% or more, about 40 to 45 days. So that's what I'm expecting here, just based off of history, based off of everything that's ever happened before. Now these here are just the small hops, okay? These are the small price surges and corrections, nothing major. We want to see where this has happened before. And lucky for me, I lived through seeing something like this happen before. I was active in Bitcoin back in the day, and when I first got into Bitcoin, this is the type of market that I kind of came into. So this is very reminiscent for me. I'm going to back this up a little bit more here, and we're going to go all the way back here to 2013. That's where we're looking at here, okay? Now this is 2013, the start of 2013. Our price was around $12.77. That's the beginning of 2013. Come April of 2013, we've shot up 2,000%. Right? April of 2013, we're looking at $259 a coin, and it doesn't stop there. We do have an 80% correction over the next 2 days, but the price continues to trend up going into December of 2013, where we hit an all-time high there of just shy of $1,200. So that's a 9,000% gain. That's huge. That's a huge gain in just under a year. So we've seen this type of market before. It was much more volatile back then, simply because the prices that we were crossing, the psychological barriers that we were crossing there, I think were much greater. And now we're seeing it's a much slower take on because less people are able to afford to play this game at this point. So we've definitely seen this before. Now, once we hit this all-time high, what happened? Well, over the next 45 days, we had an 86% decrease in that price. 86% it came down. That's insanity, guys. So once it came down there, obviously it came back up, and it took quite a while for it to come back up. I mean, quite a while. We're looking at 11,006. So that takes us almost into 2017 before we saw that price again. It was just yeah, it was about December going into January before we saw that all-time high from back in 2013. That's a lot of downtime. Do you see how long this price was down here? So people are going to ask, yeah, you know, we're in a bubble. When is it going to correct? How much is it going to correct? You know, my answer is going to be based off of everything that's happened before. Let's zoom out here on this chart. Based off of everything that's happened before, when we see an all-time high that surges from an all-time low, something crazy like this, when we see a crazy percentage gain like that, we can definitely expect to see, at least from what I can tell here, 80% change in price, and that's going to be over the next 45 days. So what does that mean for us right now, assuming that it follows that same trend? Well, December 17th, it hit that all-time high. We're going to go 45 days from there. It's going to put us right around February 1st, February 2nd, somewhere in there. We should see our low, our 80% low. Now, where's that going to put us at 80%? It's going to put us right around $4,000, guys. $4,000 a coin. That's going to set us somewheres in here, in this range right in here. Now, again, I still think that's kind of high. I definitely think that the 40% correction, if we would have something like that, that'd put us in the 12,000 range. That's where we're at right now. I still think we've got a ways to go. As you guys can see, the price of Bitcoin's dropping like a stone. So I definitely think we've got a ways to go, and 10,000, we're going to drop beyond that in no time. So when does this end? When does this start to correct itself? My personal opinion, as much as I love Bitcoin, I think all of this that we're seeing here in 2017 is just little blurbs of hype. A little bit of hype in the beginning of the year, a little bit of hype in the summer, and then we've got our December. Everybody knows what happened in December. It's pretty much when the whole world woke up to Bitcoin. Now with the price surging down, everybody that took out mortgages and refinanced this and that, they're starting to see that they're losing money. And 45 days is a long, slow bleed here. Now the come up to this, the come up here from the low in 2017 to the high, has definitely taken some time. So it's going to take some time to correct. And it could be longer than 45 days because this is a come up that we've never seen before, something like this before. This is just purely insanity as far as the dollar amount goes. So I definitely think that that's going to play a major role with regards to how heavy this coin falls. So I definitely think that we're going to see quite a bit of downtime for Bitcoin. We're going to see 2018 be the year of coins like Ripple, coins like Zcoin, Zcash, whatever you want to call it. ZEC is the name of the coin. We're going to see surges in coins that you've probably never heard of before. And Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, I think those three major coins, they're going to start to come down in price. 2018 is going to be a very, very bad year for them. We've seen a major bull market, guys. This is just what's to be expected. I mean, what more could you say here? History definitely seems to be repeating itself. It's done it before. So is this bad news for Bitcoin? Is this good news for Bitcoin? Well, I think bad news is always good news, right? Think about every time somebody poo-poos something that in the media, it gets attention, it gets more eyes on it. Other people, they have an open mind, they read about it, they educate themselves on it, and then they decide, hey, this makes sense, this is for me. So yeah, bad news is always good news, but in the short term, guys, this is definitely a correction that we're living through right now, and this was definitely a fun year that we've lived through if you were involved in crypto. So just hold on to your butts. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. Those of you that are going to ask, I know you're probably thinking, well, is it going to eventually hit 20,000? Absolutely, absolutely. But something I've been saying since 2013, Bitcoin is a $50,000 coin all day long, and this is just the beginning. Even though we're seeing such craziness right now, this is definitely just the beginning. I want to just pull out a little bit further here. I'm going to show you one other thing. Now, is it possible, or is it plausible for this coin to just rocket up after this? Is it possible to hit a 50% correction and that be the end of it? Absolutely. We've seen it happen before. We've seen from an all-time high here an 80% correction, and then it rockets back up. So that's something that we could see. We could see it bounce down to 12,000 over the next 6 months or so, and then rocket back up and then hit that 50,000 mark this time next year. That is definitely a possibility. Although I do think that we're going to be in a downtrend for quite some time. At least 6 months we're going to see Bitcoin getting just demolished in the news. Celebrities and media moguls are all going to be bashing Bitcoin harder than they ever were. They're going to tell us that I told you so, it's all a racket, it's all a scam, it's all a scheme. But guys, trust me, in the end, Bitcoin will win. It already has won. It's taken over the world. So yeah, it's going to go down. It's going to take a beating for the next 6 months. But trust me when I tell you, it's going to come back stronger, bigger, and better than ever. So I want to know what you guys think about this here. What do you think Bitcoin's going to do over the next 6 months? And how much experience do you have with this actual crypto market? I know a lot of you guys out there may be new to cryptocurrencies. So I like to gauge your experience level with your opinion level as well. So put your comments down below. I'm actually very curious to know your guys' take on this. I'm just going based off of previous events and things that I've basically seen and experienced before with Bitcoin specifically. I know this is not gonna, a lot of people are not gonna like to hear this. A lot of people are not gonna want to hear this news. And I'm no expert, believe me when I tell you, I am not the know-all of everything with Bitcoin, but I have seen this before. This is very reminiscent of something that I've seen before, and that's why I wanted to make this video. I just wanted to give you guys my experience, my take on where I think Bitcoin's going over the next 6 months or so. But that's it. That's really all I got for you guys. Hopefully you learned something from this. And if you did, go ahead and click that share button. If you have any questions or concerns, throw them in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click subscribe, guys. That's it. That's all I got for you. I'll talk to you again real soon. Peace out, everybody.